Hello everybody, of course I am Jason, Boxing Fitness baby. That's right, it's a boxing channel and it will be a fitness channel again eventually, but I've been injured for over 7 months, really 8 months. I've hurt my intercostal muscle, which a lot of boxers get hurt by the way, which we're going to talk about in a moment. So stay with me everyone. I'm just not in the shape that I normally in, and I love boxing. I box, or used to, until this injury, and so I want to put out a boxing video, none other than we got a super fight coming up within a few hours when you see this video, my friends, and chances are when this video is uploaded, the fight will have already taken place. And what fight am I talking about? I'm talking about a super fight in Australia, no less, with the amazing Tszyu. That's right, you know his father, Tszyu. Tszyu, he's had a fantastic career. He has not shown yet that he could be a Hall of Famer. I don't think so. He's not been there yet. He's had 2 devastating knockout losses, we know. He's also had 2 tune-ups, and then some people think he didn't look that great. But, Tszyu was just annihilating people. His career was skyrocketing. He's got a lot of talent. He's got that beautiful counter right, lots of experience. Very talented fighter. He's got some great physical gifts, great speed. But, in that Sebastian Fundora fight, both of them, especially the first one, remember he got that severe cut. He was, Tszyu was doing great until the cut. And he didn't deal with it properly, or maybe it was just too difficult with him in the corner. And between him and Sebastian Fundora, with his 80-inch reach, he was able to put a serious beating on Tszyu, and Tszyu dished it out as well. But Tszyu took a pounding, and again, Tszyu is a former, by the way, Tszyu is a former WBO not super middleweight, but WBO, let me get this right. Sorry, WBO junior middleweight champion, right? And super welterweight champion, he was. So before I go on, my friends, and before I get to Errol Spence Jr., you know what I'm about to ask you, don't you? If you enjoy my videos, I hope you might subscribe to my channel, hopefully, and give me that thumbs up, please. It all helps with the algorithms. I haven't put very many videos on this new channel yet, but I hope to. I love giving boxing analysis, my takes, and UFC, etc., and eventually put out perhaps some real workout videos as well. Because boxers, by the way, love fitness, of course, and UFC guys and gals, right? They got to keep in shape. Say the boxing ladies out there. So, but for you dudes out there, we got 2 men going at it, man, tonight. I think it should be very, very scintillating, exciting fight, I believe. I think it'll be hot, at least closely contested throughout most of the fight. And you guys may be asking me, well, first of all, so I talked about Tszyu. Again, I still think he has a lot of potential. Obviously, as a lot of people have said, with some of the wars that he's been in, especially getting, practically almost knocked out. I believe in the second Sebastian Fundora fight, the corner, remember, had to retire him after, I think, the 8th round, I believe, right? So, and then he was knocked out by Bazaram, I believe. I won't try to pronounce his last name. So he's had 2 knockouts, okay? Now, Errol Spence Jr., we got to ask the same questions that people are of Errol Spence Jr. Will he ever be the same? A lot of people said it, by the way, Tszyu may never be the same because, again, the punishment he's taken. But I think he'll show up. I think he's still got a lot left in the tank, and we shall see. Now, Errol Spence Jr., we all know he's been off for 3.5 years, folks. 3.5 years. And, sorry, let me just turn this TV off. So, the right question is to ask what Errol Spence Jr. is going to show as well. What is left in his tank, his gas tank, right? Has he taken too much punishment, particularly his last fight? It was really the only fight that I know of that Errol Spence Jr. took a lot of punishment, mind you, because Errol Spence Jr., he annihilated so many opponents without taking too much punishment, right, folks? And he will go down as a Hall of Famer, I believe, rightly so. He held so many belts, I won't even get into that, just he was a world title holder in so many, in different, particular welterweight division. I think he was undisputed for a long time, was he? You guys feel free to leave me a comment on all this, okay, please? And so Errol Spence Jr., unfortunately, he did lose in a bad way against Terrence Crawford. Errol Spence Jr. was exposed. Terrence Crawford basically dominated most of that fight. We know this. But we also know Errol Spence Jr., it's a right excuse. He came off a vicious car accident that almost killed him. So he was never going to be as good a fighter, probably. He was damaged as well, to some degree. But, to his credit, he took on the amazing Terrence Crawford, undefeated world champion Terrence Crawford. We saw what happened. But I think Errol Spence, my friends, he's got so much talent, he's such a talented fighter that you can't write somebody off like Errol Spence Jr. Not even after 3.5 years off. I think he's going to show a lot of his skills. Otherwise, he wouldn't take this fight. I think he's going to be on his A game. I think Tszyu's got a lot to offer. I think Tszyu is going to land some vicious rights, potentially on Errol Spence Jr. I hope neither fighter gets, seriously damaged or injured. But this is the hurt business, folks, and I think it will be a fairly violent back and forth between each other. And we shall see. Hopefully it's a very entertaining fight for the fans, and I think it will be. I think both fighters want to provide that as well. Both have a big heart. We've seen that. You can criticize Tszyu for having to retire, but I think the corner did the right job. You can only take so much damage in a fight. Sometimes you got to retire on your stool. So, and unfortunately, Tszyu got viciously knocked out, for you Tszyu fans, in one of his, one of those other fights. And he's had 2 tune-ups. And Errol Spence Jr., again, nothing to talk much about Errol Spence Jr. recently because he's been off for 3.5 years. And the question is, how much training has Errol Spence Jr. been doing in all that time off? How much has his body recovered? How much strength can he get back? I think a lot of it he can. We'll see, folks. I think it's going to be a hotly contested battle, in my opinion. I'm anxious to see this fight, so I'll be tuning in. Hopefully you guys and gals will be tuning in. If you don't tune in live, some of you that can't watch the fight live for whatever reason, hopefully you'll watch the replay. Again, I would love to read your comments before and or after this fight, or any questions you have. Thank you so much for listening and watching, folks. I just wish I could have done this video just for my own vanity's sake to be in tip-top shape, but it's going to take me a while yet. I may be off for a few more months before I can even attempt some light weights, hopefully, and then progressively move up. And I want to box again, of course, and swim and do all that good stuff. But we're going to heal. God willing, we're going to heal. Thanks, everyone. And for all of you out there, stay strong, stay healthy. Thanks for watching Jason Boxing and Fitness. Thanks, everyone. I was going to call myself Jason Fitness Captain Boxing. But whatever the title is here, you know the title. You know what I'm about. I hope you subscribe again. Leave me a comment, folks. Share this video if you want. And enjoy the fights. It's a big super fight from Australia. And let me know, folks, where is that stadium in Australia that they're fighting? How many fans does it hold? I will find out, but feel free to leave me a comment too, and I'll read the comments as it comes up. How many fans this fight holds and where it is. Exactly. Thanks, everyone. Take care. Enjoy the fights tonight. Bye-bye.